been the political will. Everyone believes that political will to follow a particular decision is the problem of our country. President Muhammadu Buhari has already given his words that uniform of security officers and of government officials like schools and others, police, army, military, generally, will be produced by Nigerian locals in the country. But it's still taking time for the effect of that. And that's part of the discussion, political will of politicians to effect their wills. Let's listen to the way Oshiomhole put it, how to really tackle political will.
My question is to you, sir, Oshiomhole. You talk about political will. You were government, and you're talking about political will to us. How are you supposed to enforce the political will if the politicians themselves don't enforce it? I mean, they're talking good grammar here. I export small business folks abroad, and for 7-8 months I've not been able to export. Now it's easier to go on Alibaba with my $500, order 10 clothes and sell it, rather than employ 10 people and pay their salaries and produce. You make it easier for us to import rather than to produce it. Because it's easier for me on my $500, $1,000 right now, go to in China, import all their clothes, you sell it, make 20% profit, rather than to employ 10 workers. Who is supposed to enforce this political? Thank you very much, sir.
The panel of discussants to respond to those comments, and I, be chairman, I reserve the right to exercise my powers to avoid direct questions that are too problematic for me to answer. That is the privilege. That is the privilege of being chairman. Then I will evoke what you call it, immunity clause, so you cannot question.
I thought the chairman should answer that last question first.
Oh, okay. All right. The panelists have conspired to say that I should lead by example.
Yes.
And I accept. First, let me speak slowly so that you understand where I'm coming from. Government, you heard me say something, and I said it on purpose. I said, when I was president of the NFC and even earlier general secretary, there were moments I wonder if my views were not as a result of my limited understanding of how government and governance operate. And I said, having had the privilege to govern for 8 years and attend high-level meetings where government decisions are taken, I am much more convinced that the position that I took or we took as organized labor in certain matters were very, very valid. And if I were to have the opportunity again, I will fight even harder. That is what I said. Political will. Of course, political will is not expected from you. And that is why I said, and I hope you did take note, I choose my words carefully even as I was trying to rush them so that I don't take too much time. That you must have the capacity to engage, interrogate, and fight against policies that are wrong or non-enforcement of policies that are right, rather than just lament it. I said that if the state has the will to make a policy, but they lack the will to implement it, you should engage. I cannot do it for you. I run a subnational government, one of the 36 states, and issues of tariff, issues of customs, issues of industrial policies, taxation, all of those things are centralized. When you hear people talking about federalism in Nigeria, the peculiar issues, so on and so forth, those are part of the challenges. My business here is to remind you that it is not enough when you hear government says we would ensure that all the uniforms, because that campaign was on even before I left the textile union, that if we insist as a matter of public policies that all our custom uniforms must be made in Nigeria, that all our police uniforms must be made in Nigeria, civil defense, those who are supposed to manage our highways but I hardly see them, road safety, you name it, even school uniforms, government school uniforms that we produce for our children, they are not of velvet, they are not high silk, they are basic fabrics for primary schools, secondary schools, etc., etc. But there was a time government accepted this policy, and as a consequence, I believe Nigeria police awarded the contract to, I'm not sure now, whether it was what company in Lagos that own Aflon, pardon? ICI. Okay, so you know the name of the companies. They gave them the contract to produce police uniforms, and they did. But I'm not sure, as we speak, if that policy is on. You will know better. But the customer will tell us whether they have complied, because there was a pronouncement about that. I read that in the brochure produced by the Textile Workers Union, when you acknowledge the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria and President Muhammadu Buhari's decision that they must look inward to produce uniforms. What you should now do is to ask. As a governor, I cannot ask a custom officer, why are you not wearing, or where was this your uniform manufactured? I don't have that power. Otherwise, they will even arrest me as a smuggler. But let me tell you, talking about policy gaps between proclamations and reality. The other day, my cook served me rice. They look so clean, and I asked him, is this from Kebbi or Ebonyi or Kano, those states that are producing rice? He said, no, sir. I said, wait, which one is this? He said, it's imported. I said, but importation of rice is forbidden. And I said, don't ever cook this foreign rice. First, because it's not even nutritious. Some are poisonous because they've been kept in warehouses. They have expired. So they want to find avenue to just sell them at the giveaway price. And smugglers that want to maximize, take advantage and bring them in. With all the policy, those rice are in the market. So there is no state governor who can go there. You will be accused of taking laws into your hand. How to get the political will is the reason the union makes us strong. Everything can be changed, and there is no better quotation than when we sing the trade union song, the most popular one, that says, from the ashes of the old, a new world can be born when we realize that the union makes us strong. So because by combining, you can interrogate. I'm sure Nigerian government have seen from recent EdSARS protests that it is better to deal with organized labor, convey the aspirations, the frustrations, the disappointment, the gap between what they think they should get and what they are getting, is better than an organized group convey this and negotiate with the authorities. Because there's somebody who is responsible. There's a channel for conversation. And those who are discussing with, we feed the higher level of government back. You also feed your own followers back. I'm asking you to stop agonizing and start organizing, mobilizing, and interrogate power and engage power. Look at, I'm not going to say more than this before I'm accused of something that I don't want to say. It is not for nothing that under the freedom of association, certain rights are provided. Exploit those to ensure that when government says we will ensure that custom uniforms are made in Nigeria, you will go and end importation of custom uniforms. When it says army uniform must be made in Nigeria, help the government to ensure that no soldier was an imported or smuggled fabric. You have to compare them to realize that it's not the policy you want, it is the implementation. That is how to encourage, that is the power of active citizenry. So don't expect that the government is going to be sitting down somewhere and say, no, custom. So it is in your hand to mount pressure. Somebody asked, let me tell you something I did in Edo. As a governor, the one that was within my discretion, I found that the state-owned cement factory, Okwela Cement, was being used for the baggaging of rice, of cement. And I issued ultimatum to whoever owns it that I will revoke the privatization and I will sell it to another person and revoke the certificate of occupancy, which is within the discretion of the governor. I just follow the laws and I'll gazette it. A big person at the villa, maybe number 2 at that time, called me and said, Comrade, this is your pronouncement. I said, when it comes to job, I am a fanatic. We cannot allow a cement factory to become a warehouse for smuggled cement. And because they know I will do exactly what I've said, and I said, tell the person, if he doesn't do what I said, in 2 weeks, I will revoke. The owner showed up. And I said, he said, no, but you can't do it in 2 weeks. I said, we can give you more time, but you need evidence. You need to convince me that you are going to start producing. Although, before I left government, you now have Boa Cement. Have you seen Boa Cement? That is the result of my political will, not only to make a policy, to threaten, and I already prepared the instrument to gazette it. If he failed within the time I allowed, as a God, I use the word I now, because I had the executive power, not we. And he knew from my background that I will do it. And I told the day number 2, when it comes to jobs, I am a fanatic. And I question his conscience. You too should support me to whip away traders and replace them with manufacturers. Today, if you see Boa Cement, it is a result of my political will. And you can ask the owner. But I went beyond that and I said, once you have seen evidence that you are constructing, we will give you free right of way. The governor has the power to waive in part or in whole the channel to bring gas into the factory so that they can generate their own power. Today, Dangote is constructing a second cement factory in that same location because we have enough of the lines, which is the main raw materials. And when that one comes on stream, you will see how a subnational government can encourage. And all I had to do was to discourage the local people from harassing these investors. We have cement, ceramic. We've been importing these ceramic tiles. A Chinese guy came, they want to do ceramic. I called the local people, don't harass them. Because we have this now misconception. Youth, a man from nowhere, I say, before you start construction, you must pay us. I waive whatever I could waive in terms of acquisition of land and so on and so forth. And today, all the ceramics we use to build schools in Edo State, they were made in Edo. All the iron rods for construction of those civil engineering work are the result of scraps that are now being converted to iron rod. All of those I did. I'm not saying I could do much more, but just for you to know that you need to push those in government to come to the conclusion that they have no alternative but to implement the policies they have rolled out. Pushing is the word. Interrogation is the word. Engagement is the word. And you know the final result power if all of these ones fail. And I'm not good. This is not industrial relation conference, so I'm not going to talk about that. So please don't assume that political will emerge.